Hello everybody, this is Zerda with Zerda MTG, and I'm back at it again with another testing video. So I took another crack at draw go control from yesterday, made a few changes. Most notably, I realized that we were really close to being able to play Zerda, and just having a companion is way better than not having a companion. So just being able to deploy a free 3/3 that's always in our hand, always an 8th card. That's pretty relevant. Its other ability, I guess it kinda helps out Shark Typhoon, if I'm remembering correctly. I think yes it does. Not that that's really ever gonna come up unless we have only 2 mana and it'll reduce by 2. Um, Playing 1 Neutralize, 1 Commence the End Game in the Shark spot, trying to kind of gauge if I want more threats, or more kind of counterspell with other utility. Just see where that puts us. This is also, better in the early game even than the Shark was, so maybe that puts us where we want to be. Commence the End Game is, I don't know, I've had a strange relationship with this card. I think it's very good. I just think that it's inefficient at the number of cards it's giving you for its mana cost, but Uncounterable is very powerful. As I'm sure you've noticed with Dovin's Veto, seeing so much play in blue-white control decks of the past, just not being able to be interacted with and being card advantage is pretty nice. Getting the giant token, we hope, is also pretty nice. We have a lot of ways to, kind of spin our wheels and not lose card advantage on what we're doing, and a few ways to refuel, even including commence the end game. So we're hoping that the token it makes is going to be pretty big. From what I remember from yesterday's video, it should be a pretty big token. I hope that that's relevant enough for 6 mana. I don't think we want another into the story. I think kind of having 2 just so that we can late game find and refuel is where we want to be. This might become a Chemister's Insight or another Neutralize. Still not entirely sure there. Maybe even a Flame Sweep. I'm just really not sure. I need to feel how this deck shapes out in the meta. But anyway, as you can just watch yesterday's video, hint, please watch my videos, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the games. And here's your friendly reminder to like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow, and I like seeing those numbers go up, as I'm sure anyone who has ever played Cookie Clicker can attest to. Alright, so we already found ourselves a match, or a game, on the play. No companion. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan this, though. Like, we have an Essence Scatter, but we have no real way of, seeing new cards other than the Shark Typhoon, and I think we can do better. This isn't exactly better, but we'll keep it because we don't want to go lower than this. Right now, we're basically at card parity. Let's not lose that. And these will come online later. Play another Steam Vents. I'm really not in the mood to cycle for no value. Might be Mono Blue Tempo. Might be a lot of things. Either way, we're not gonna just play Zerda into Brazen Borrower. We'll make a 1/1 draw card. See what we can do with that. And yep, this is Flash. Which is actually pretty good for us because this Shark Typhoon is going to, as long as they don't have the Sea Dasher Octopus, trade with their Cutthroat here. And if they do, it eats their turn. So either way. Even if Brazen Borrower isn't the end of the world here. No, just one. There we go. So once again, I'm aware of the Sea Dasher, but I don't think we want to let them draw cards anyway, and this is card neutral even if they do that. Yep, they did that a little early. We're still blocking. We'd rather them not start drawing cards. Wish that was a negate, would have made me feel a little more comfortable. Oh, there we go. So, now I'm a little bit torn. There's no way they're casting something on their turn, other than a Brazen Borrower to bounce this. And there's no 1-mana way to punish me here. Another Sea Dasher is obviously a disaster on the Spectral Sailor. But right here we're just hoping to kind of use this as a bad removal spell. This being flash, tapping out isn't as bad. And yeah, that's what I was worried about. Was Brazen Borrower, letting them actually get their card draw going. Especially because we didn't exactly keep the best hand, but you can't mulligan too low in a control deck, or you just won't do anything. Oh boy. So let's see. Yeah. I suppose I should have countered that though, thinking about it. Just to get a card in the yard and start building these up so that Zerda could even trade with Zerda, not Zerta, notably. So that it could trade with their Sea Dasher. Instead, it's looking like a chump if we have to. Alright, so they are the black version. With any luck, they try and cast something here. I think the bat costs 6 to mutate, though. Alright, so we have to fall a little further behind here. I really should have Essence Scattered the Spectral Sailor. I was viewing the value of it as it alone, and now if they just don't deploy anything, we're in trouble. That helps us a lot, because now we can force the issue. And we will in fact be forcing the issue this turn. This doesn't have Vigilance. End turn. Slither Wisp. Excellent. We will Essence Scatter that. Let's see what they do. Quench. We're just going to go ahead and pay that. Not exactly happy about it, but we don't want them getting down a card advantage engine. That just seems like a recipe for disaster. Also notably, we're not very happy about this position because now we don't have Dragonfire plus Negate open, but we are going to go for it this turn. We will be declaring our block first because we don't want them to keep drawing cards, and getting in for that much damage is starting to be highly concerning. We'll also wait to crack that until we've blocked, just so they don't act when our mana is down. No need to do anything yet. I think it's the first time I noticed that's a fox. Alright, time to attempt to exile the Sea Dasher. Grabbing a island here, we're a bit more blue heavy, we have 3 red sources. We want to be able to keep up more blue sources with Castle Vantress activations in the future. Opponent is probably suffering through a bad internet connection here. Oh. Well, that's interesting. And let's go ahead and mute them. I don't think they realize what a good game looks like. That was just pretty rude. Let's see. Here, we're going to take out a Spectral Sailor. I'm not happy about it, but it is in fact lethal if we don't. Crack our land because we plan to scry at the end of turn and we don't want to mess that up by mistake. Not that we could, but hey. And if they cast another one, brings it up to lethal, regardless. And we move on. So, it's a little unfortunate. It shows the downside of Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. While the card is phenomenally powerful once you hit even the mid-game, if you don't have that start up for it, it's not going to be great. I was kind of banking on drawing a few more cheap interaction spells earlier, because once again, I don't think we could really afford to go down to 5 or lower and still be able to do anything. At least I think the chances were lower than if we continued. So, opponent goes first. Scry, opt, negate, Rowls. This one I feel is fine, especially against a Lurrus deck, and we do have exiling removal. And a negate, which while not great, could potentially be important later. Alright. So this is the most dangerous kind for us, because if they all that glitters early, we are absolutely done for. If they don't, however, then being able to shock plus opt is pretty good. But it's almost like we cast opt anyway if we get rid of the shock. We turn our draw step into the opt. Would have also helped grow our blitz, but it's not where my concern lies right now. Okay, so I'm going to Scorching Dragonfire their Dreadhorde Butcher. Get that out of the way right now. That thing only becomes a bigger problem. Also, they're not in fact the Enchantress version I thought they were when I saw the Hateful Eidolon, so we're in a bit better shape here than I was anticipating. We can opt and blitz to kill anything with 2 toughness next turn. If not, we can opt, cycle, or neutralize. We're not really going to need it. There's the Scorpion. There's the Priest. Ooh, or better yet, we can hold up neutralize. There is still a chance. That play makes me just kind of want to opt here. Get a look at what we're going to be discarding. Actually, I think because of the outburst, I'm going to blitz the Kroxa so that it exiles itself. And I'll discard the mountain and take some damage here. I do need more lands. And I'd rather have that island. Resolves. Waiting for priority to pass back to me. Oh, I'm not gonna get the opportunity. That's right. Okay, so here... Alright, that's fine. I think I'm still gonna discard the mountain. Yes, I'm still discarding the mountain. My plan, however, has switched to being more likely to cycle my neutralize here, depending on what they do. Alright, nope. Still, blitzing the Kroxa isn't very good, though. So because blitzing the Kroxa isn't very good, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna exile their priest. This is once again where we wish we had some main deck graveyard hate, which is a sad place to be in any format, let alone standard. We'll discard our negate. Does the least. We'll play an island and we'll hold up Ral's Outburst. Just in case of a Lewis turn from our opponent. Normally we'd like to get down the Zerda, but I don't think we want to do that and then get Mire's Grasped to have them draw 2 cards. Feels like a losing proposition. I'm gonna discard it anyway, so I'd rather save the mana. So I'll Ral's Outburst. I guess I'll discard Shock. I'd rather have the neutralize, it does a little bit more. Discard. And I'll have to be careful about holding up mana to stop that Lurrus. Alright. Now that I have Scorching Dragonfire, I don't need to worry as much about that. I'll just pass turn here. As long as they don't have another mana source. Claiming the Firstborn is fine. I'll even drop to 4 here. Another Hateful is also fine. Excellent. And now I think I'm in a good position. I get to hold up Neutralize, Scorching, and Negate, or Neutralize plus one of the 2. I will neutralize Kroxa, just straight out. Lurrus, I will allow, I think. Yeah. Note they didn't have the mana, so. Here, we deal with Lurrus. Block with Zerda. Really showcasing the power of a companion here. Otherwise, we'd be on a 2-turn clock with no way to do this. But instead, we just have a free 3/3 that gets to eat their creature. They're going to attempt to Kroxa. They'll eat their entire graveyard. We'll neutralize it, and they won't be able to do it again for quite some time. And if they do, all we need to do is save up for a Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Ooh. And that is bad news. Their utility land is way better than ours, and they have it, and we don't have ours. Alright. They're gonna start drawing 2 cards a turn. The life loss means basically nothing to them. So we could use an Into the Story. We have the mana for it, and I think it would put us far enough ahead that we wouldn't have to be worried about the Kroxa. We'd be able to find the answers to it. Shark Typhoon would also be nice. It'd be big enough that we'd be able to potentially just race anything they do. Okay, that Shock is a nightmare for us. Oh, I see. They're trying to conserve life and mana. Suppose they're conserving life if they want to play whatever they drew this turn. Alright, Fiend Artisan. It's not so big we can't kill it, depending on our draw. Alright. So the bad thing here is that this is going to be able to fetch some very, very problematic cards for us. The good news is we have a very fast clock. We have an 8/8. It was possible, it was way better to just go ahead and find out if we could draw a Scorching Dragonfire or a Blitz for the Fiend Artisan on our turn, but I don't think that's our best bet of winning. I think it's going to require some... Oh, okay. That's the best case scenario, actually. Because that doesn't do any damage to us. Alright. Notably, they have Kroxa again, mana. Alright, now we're in a very bad position. That's from the Castle Lochwain. Believe 8 is as large as I can go. Thinking of what our outs entail here. A lot more than one card. There we go. Well, I suppose back to square one. This is now our best bet. Wish I hadn't played that land. I forgot about Blast Zone. I'm gonna have to discard the Thassa's Intervention to stay alive. Block, block. Take 2 down to 1. We'd only eat 1 Fiend Artisan. Note they could also... There's a few things they could do here. I think I misplayed, and Blast Zone would have been good enough. But now it's just not, because of their double Fiend Artisan being able to fetch some real problem cards for us. So I'm going to keep going. Ral's Outburst, too slow now. We really need a Blitz. Alright. So there is a chance we survive this turn, I just don't think it's going to happen. Note, as long as it wasn't a land, and I hadn't done the second opt, Thassa's Intervention would have been able to counter the Kroxa. However, I don't think the Kroxa is going to be our problem. Well, I suppose it is, because now... Yeah, that was bad. I was thinking of drawing the Blitz. Let's live. Also imagine them doing this post-combat. I believe that's all 4 Kroxa too. Yep, that is Kroxa number 4. Really the power of these Titans. I did make a bit of a misplay there, though. They're going to drain me for 2, get a 0, or they're going to just pass. Either way. Oh, that doesn't do anything. Just in case one of my daily quests is attacking, I'm going to attack and then concede. So I definitely could have had a little bit tighter play there. I think that loss was mostly due to my own ineptitude. Ooh. Alright, and let's... Oh yeah, almost forgot. Be sure you guys check out the daily deals. I hadn't today. And they're having another one of these things. know it's going to be a bit late by the time this video comes out, but remember to always check those. Might be Wizards just trying to get you to check it so you'll pay more back into them more often, but hey, it gives you free gold, right? Free gold or free gems. Truly, the world's most convoluted login bonus. Alright. Their Lurrus deck? Okay, this hand I actually do like against them. Blast Zone, Double Shock, card draw. Bit of a shame we have to play tap land for, this version. Alright, I was really hoping that'd be a mountain. I'm gonna need something better than that. Blast Zone, still very good in this matchup. Brute. Not gonna show them the Blast Zone so they won't play around it. I think I'm not gonna shock. It's something they'd want me to do here. And you never want to do what your opponent wants you to. I'm gonna wait for them to put something on the Hawk. Alright. And there we have it. That's all we needed to see. A little unfortunate, because it probably means they're going to put something bigger on the Ginger Brute. There you have it. Pass the turn back over. We don't mind taking 2 damage for a few turns. Anything huge that we can Thassa's Intervention, we will. I think we want more than lands. We have our next 2 set up. Good. Negate's actually not bad in this matchup. I don't plan on Blast Zoning. I plan on end-step Shark Typhooning. And because of that, I don't really want to deploy the Blast Zone and let them know. On the other hand, I could see myself regretting making that choice. I'm gonna hold off on it another turn. Just, I feel like playing the Blast Zone on the absolute last possible turn gets your opponent to play into it more. And getting them to play into it more, I feel, is just a little bit better than the alternative. Here, I'll see if I can get them to use a combat trick by doing this in combat. They're probably just going to make their Ginger Brute unblockable, in all honesty, though. Oh. Alright, I think I got him to use a combat trick. Excellent. And now we don't have to worry about double combat trick. Save both of them. But I don't. I think if our opponent saves either of them, we're in a bad enough spot that I'm just gonna hope they can save neither. We don't want to just, you know, waste our entire land drop on it. And if both of their cards are that, then so be it. And there you have why we play Blast Zone. The old 3-for-1 from our land drop. Ask any Legacy player how powerful lands can be, and they'll tell you that's about it. Play Zerda, I get to keep up. Sorry about that. Bumped my mic. I get to keep up Negate and Shock. I don't mind them getting back 1 Ginger Brute. And this does deploy a actual threat they have to compete with. Oh, if only you were 5 mana. It's a little Lurrus companion. Alright, end step, I'm gonna look at the top 3. Take 2. This is what we want to be doing with Thassa's intervention, is looking at cards and drawing them. I'm gonna discard a negate here. And this commenced the end game. If we actually get to deploy it this turn, I'll allow that. It's going to be absolutely massive. It's as big as we can get it at instant speed. And so saith our 8/8. And get out of our way. I'll attack. Here I'll probably discard a mountain. God's willing. I don't mind that. Ginger Brute is allowed to survive. Though it will stop quite a bit of damage, I don't truly mind. We could have shocked it. I'd rather save our mana, use the shock at a more relevant time. Alright, and there you go. I do want to try out that deck at some point. It seems interesting. It seems aggressive enough that I think it's probably alright, but also good against mono red. I'm not sure if I like it more than just the black-white cat pants variant, but it's definitely something. And I suppose it's better against decks where removal just isn't good. It might actually just be better in the meta while being worse in certain matchups. On the play against a Lurrus deck, I have a negate, I have an outburst, and a Shark Typhoon. I'm gonna keep merely because Opt and Blast Zone, but I'm not excited about this. And against Lurrus, I don't really think you can afford to mulligan too aggressively. Plus, we don't know what flavor of Lurrus this is. Oh, is it the same version? Or is it just aristocrats? I think it's just... Could be a lot of things. Could even be a, like, some control variant. I'm gonna keep the shock just because the vast majority of Lurrus decks would prefer me to keep the shock, and it does also stop Lurrus itself from just going completely unchecked. And we don't want an unchecked Lurrus. That's not how you win games of Magic. Not in Modern, Standard, Legacy. Not even in Vintage. Suppose you can in Commander. You can let it go. That's how you win games of Commander. Leave the Lurrus alone. Oh. Well, we see the version. And we're very glad we kept the shock because they have some very, very terrifying threats. It could come down even this turn. Yep, and that is one of them that we will kill on sight and be very happy it came down before they could also cycle. Alright, there we go. Play another mountain. Once again, we just don't want to reveal the blast zone yet. I suppose I should have played the Zerta there. There is basically nothing I can negate, and here I'm just going to be cycling a Shark Typhoon for 1. I suppose we might be blitzing, but even so, I'd have rather ended up playing the Zerta there. I got too wrapped up in hold up your mana, and then next turn we're not going to have the opportunity because of Ral's Outburst. That card's fine. It's not something we'd blitz. Notably, this isn't going to be any kind of an even remotely acceptable clock. We're just making sure we get max value out of cycling there. Ah, very good. Could use another island, though. So into the story, probably at its best against the cycling deck. Just out of the virtue of the fact that they will fill their own graveyard at an incredibly fast pace for us to into the story for cheap. Also nice that that happens, because it seems that we don't really want to tap out at any point against this deck once it gets to the late game. Just because the Zenith Flare is incredibly powerful, and we don't want to give them the shot at just gimping us with it. I attacked with the shark there because I was figuring we wouldn't want to just throw it away quite yet. We'd rather throw it under a fox or something, and we'd also like to keep their life total as low as we can, block only when we need to. Doesn't matter if we block now or in 10 turns. Well, in 10 turns we'd be dead, so I guess that matters. But in 8 turns, it still does the same amount of damage prevention blocking a healer. Alright. And here, quite possible I should have done this sooner, but I was worried about them deploying a better target for it. Take the blue source that also happens to scry. And here, we get to keep attacking and be... Oh! Our opponent picks it up. I suppose they just don't want to, they're playing that because they want to grind quickly through rank. Which is something, if you're trying to just ladder, you should keep in mind, is sometimes, even if you would win, it's not worth continuing to play because you're just going to take longer to go through a game. So sometimes people will concede to control decks just because they want to get on with the next match and use their time more efficiently, gaining more, even if the games don't. When it goes first, Karuga. Alright, so I like negate and nothing else, so we're gonna mull. Alright, I like this. We'll bin the Essence Scatter. Or not the Essence, the, you know what it's called, Scorching Dragonfire. So against fires, we're just gonna hold up negate, Essence Scatter. Zerda doesn't come down until we can hold something up at the same time. We'll hold up negate starting from next turn. Shark Typhoon against Teferi. Also notably, it lets us use our mana if we don't end up doing something one turn, so it doesn't waste. Kind of... Yeah, I like it. It still cycles, so it's still dinging us towards our land drops too. And without Chemister's Insight, we're not really digging towards a specific 4. And here we're holding up negate for Teferi. You saw how that went yesterday when we didn't, and ho-ho, not great. Drago controls a worst nightmare is a resolved Teferi. Here we play a temple. We do need more lands. We are starting to run light on our interaction though, and we do have a lot more lands. So I'm gonna go ahead and ship it. Note that no matter what we did there, we're going to shuffle it back in next turn, I believe. I'm just gonna keep the threats off the table for as long as possible. Excellent. See if we can prevent them from gaining any real traction here. Kennerith, we will Thassa's Intervention. Grab an island, just so that when I do opt, which I think will actually be right now, so that I can try and find a land, or I mean, I'm not just going to take a land, but if I do draw one, I would like to be able to play it. Fires we get to negate. And we have successfully stopped them from gaining traction. Alright, just need a few more, quite a few more cards in their yard to into the store for cheap. Alright, they resolve a Sphinx of Foresight. We will make a 3-3 and wish it was a 4-4. We'll probably trade the token and a shock for their Sphinx, if given the opportunity. Excellent. Soon we'll have the opportunity to into the store regardless of how many cards are in their yard. Yeah. Alright, if I had shocked or played the mountain, I think that would have been the right play, so that I could have also played Zerda there. Be able to just get another body out. Hopefully they attack first, though I doubt it. I think they're gonna Karuga and get their card draw up. So I will block. And I'm not gonna give them the information until they cast the Karuga. Alright, and here we're going to take away their card draw. We'll tick this up. There is nothing in their deck that costs less than 3, as is the clause of their companion. So we're going to want to put it at a number that it'll actually do something. Alright, so I think we're just going to go ahead and pass here. Cast into the story for its full retail value of 7 mana, unless our opponent happens to crack another card. Which would be nice, but only to get the Blast Zone up to 3. Oof. Alright. It's going to be a lot of damage, but I think it's worth making the token bigger. Oh, it was definitely worth. Before we do anything else, we will commence the end game. Largest token possible. Deploy land. And blitz the Kenrith so they don't get any funny ideas. And we are now firmly starting to take control back from our opponent. I was going to say firmly in the driver's seat, but let's be honest, that is not even remotely true yet. I will block and take the Bone Crusher trade. Not just going to take 5. So here we'll opt to see if we can't find a solution to our Sphinx problem. We have. And to be sure our opponent doesn't just pull all the way ahead of us. Let's see. I'd rather leave open Rowl's Outburst than deploy the Zerda, because that is something I plan on outbursting. I'll take the 2, no problem. And I'd rather do it sooner than later. That's even better for us, actually. Now, I think they want us to do this, but I'm not. But they don't know about our hand right now, so I'm okay with that. I don't think there's a way for them to punish us for waiting. They're gonna go straight to combat, I imagine. we sacrifice the Blast Zone. Blow up both Bone Crusher Giants. Hey look, our land got us a 2-for-1. Not what I want to be doing with this Neutralize. I'd rather be countering something a little bigger. But alas, it is our lot in life. I'm just worried that that last card they have is a Kenrith. So, just to be able to cast the largest spells possible with our Ral's Outburst potential draw, we will just deploy. Teferi is a real problem here. I imagine they're going to use it to draw, though.
You show remorse, I'll show restraint.
Alright. And that's why we decided to let our mana waste away there, except for our free scry. I say free, but you know, expensive. Into the story, best thing we could have. I'll take the Blitz. The negate I could want. If not, I might end up scrying it away or pitching it to Ral's. Here we will sorcery speed. I suppose we are just pitching it to Ral's. Negate not the end of the world as a card draw though. Ooh, into the story. Perfect.
I really should have seen that coming.
I don't have anything I'd want for 3 that's over a outburst. I suppose I might have wanted to deploy Zerda there. Put this into the story, as long as we're not somehow dead this turn, is really going to put us in the driver's seat. We're going to go from 3 cards versus 3 cards to basically a full hand. Oh no, that's fine. Give it haste. By all means, you won't even get the trigger. I'll let you discard. You might discard, shame. And yes, we do still keep. Alright, that could have gone a lot better. Note, exile, they do not get their trigger. Alright, so that could have gone so much better. Alas, here we will Temple so we see what we can Typhoon into. Shock, not exactly live in this matchup. Deploy our companion. And end the turn. Make a huge shark. Allow it. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, I guess not. I was thinking it's a mistake because it's all part of one ability. We wouldn't be able to exactly choose later. So here, Shark Typhoon. I think I make a 7/7 here, right? Nope, 8. Alright, here's another 8/8. That will be heading straight for that Narset. Zerda just gets to sit here and trade with their Bone Crusher should they wish it. Hold up a Scorching Dragonfire just in case. Kill the Narset. We don't need them looting in this attrition war. Deploy Blast Zone. End the turn. Deploying Blast Zone so we can tick it up as quickly as possible. A Fires of Invention, notably, we will just kind of allow to happen at this point. Cycling lands really giving them benefit in this matchup, where things have gone long. Here, we will use our free removal spell. We have them on a 2-turn clock anyway. Scry 2. I want both of those. the event something bad happens that isn't answered by 9 points of creature burn, go ahead and negate. Into the Story really won us this one. Just drawing such an absurd number of cards to come back up from being behind on our opponent there really helped slam those games closed. So there you can see why I like the card so much. With just 2 copies of it, we're able to get such an absurd amount of card draw going that it's really hard for an opponent to recover. It is arguable. You see the same number of cards with Chemist's Insight, but split over multiple turns. And to cast it twice in 1 turn is even more mana. It's still, I'm not positive Into the Story is going to be better 100% of the time, but I think if you only have room for 2, the upside of the just more cards and potentially for way, way cheaper is better, especially if you're planning to only really cast it late, use your other ways to filter through the deck earlier. Honestly, what I'd like is a 3 mana X draw spell. If there was 1 less mana on Expansion Explosion, I think that's where I'd be. But as there is not, that is not the world we live in, and not something I'm gonna be doing. So here, I'm a little concerned. There's a Gilded Goose and an Obosh. Kind of afraid of this. I'm gonna keep, like, the Opt, the Essence Scatter, the Blitz, the Rowl's Outburst for a little bit of card draw. Ooh. Alright. That's not a good one.
Let's just fight.
Okay. We're probably in a bit of trouble here. I haven't played against the Gruul Obosh deck yet.
I was raised by wolves. So they might have also
If this is going to be a more permanent part of the meta, I'm not sure I would even begin to recommend this deck. Just another deck that says, hey, you can't really counter my stuff. Not where we want to be, especially not against a creature deck. I'll grab a mountain so that I can eventually cast my spells here. Maybe they don't Domri us and we get to Essence Scatter. Oh. Alright.
nothing disgusts me more than law and order.
Notably, we don't have a way to kill this in time before that comes down. But honestly, as long as we can prevent the Obosh itself from dealing damage to us, I'm gonna be happy. I'll take the Opt. It helps grow the Blitz faster than anything else we could do. I can't believe a creature deck where we want the negates, and we need to be on the play to use them. See, Gilded Goose to Fairy would be a nightmare. Gilded Goose Domri is gonna be bad enough. Oh boy. Alright. So here, with any luck, we'll get to either Essence Scatter or negate, but my hopes for that are basically 0. We will, however, be able to Opt at minimum. If this were later in the game, I'd be more comfortable with what's going on. Maybe they just use their food. I doubt it. I think they're going to want to, uptick and be able to swing in with the goose. Let's see, that's creatures. Yep, not just from hand or anything. See what we can find. Maybe we can draw Scorching. As much as I'd love Rowl's Outburst to be good enough here, a little bit slow. We'd like our other removal to come online first. Haha. Yield Scrybug. There was some debate given there to Essence Scattering anyway to grow the Blitz, but I don't think it grows it fast enough. That Domri is going to be a real problem. Alright, so we'll kill the goose, take 8. Hopefully put something in the bin that will
Come and destroy.
grow the Blitz. Sarkin. Okay, plans have changed. Lead on opt. Sarkin really needs to go. No, no shock, but definitely not winning through a Sarkin and a Domri. On the upside, if we draw a 1-mana spell here, preferably Shock, we'll be able to clear out the creatures. Alas, that is not the case. So we're going to drop to 2. Hope they don't have a Bone Crusher or basically anything ever for the rest of the game. It's the predicament we're in. No, that doesn't help. I guess if I'd played the Mountain, I could have played Zerda, block Blitz, but that seems like a losing proposition. Just kind of a delaying tactic, especially because they can down tick now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, can't counter what they're gonna do.
Sorry, were you doing something?
Kiora, that's fine. This is an interesting deck.
Look like lunch.
Very interesting. I wasn't expecting this to be more Super Frenzy
Splash.
when I saw the Obosh and the Domri. So let's just go ahead and stop ourselves from being dead first. They've shown us a lot of walkers. Makes me really tempted to take the negate. I'm gonna take the negate in case of future Sarkins. Either way, we can blitz this away. If they don't have something big here. Oh, there you have it. Nothing we could have done about that. Yeah. It was an interesting deck. Well, I think the video is starting to run pretty long, so I'm gonna cut it off despite wanting to get in a few more games here myself. So I hope you all liked the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I will respond to each and every comment that isn't made by a bot on my account. You might have noticed the growing problem of them as I responded to them as well, but I think I'm done with that after a wave of comments I had from them a few days ago. I have learned my lesson, so I'll show you whatever is in this pack I didn't realize I had, and be on my way. Could use more uncommon wildcards. Since I started doing these videos, I've been running low on them. Had almost as many as I had commons, and well, I've gone through quite a few. So that's good to help us see the videos. Let's see. If this were a pack, obviously I'd have more cards in it, but for draft, let's just say. This is the number of times this creature is mutated. I think I'd be looking at that. The rare would have to be really good to stop me from getting Porker Parrot. The card is just, oof. Put it on anything with Death Touch or Lifelink, and you got a little machine gun there. And Titan's Nest. Yeah, I'd take the Porker Parrot. I don't really think this card is exactly great in draft. I think it has potential in other formats. I think, particularly at least in Modern, the earliest format where you can play both Titan's Nest and Painter's Servant. It has some potential, but I don't think it would be a good deck there. I just think it'd be kind of cool that you get to go 2-drop, 4-drop, 15-drop. Well, in any case, that's it. Hope you had fun, and I will see you all next time.